Hello and welcome to How to Prepare to Write Your First or 20th Novel Without Having a Panic Attack for aspiring writers like you. I am your host, Sadie K. Frazier. Hey everybody! How are you all doing this fine, chilly December day? I am doing absolutely great and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I would like to take a minute to welcome you all to my very first writer's workshop. How to prepare to write your first or 20th novel without having a panic attack. Now, this free workshop is for aspiring writers specifically, just like you. Maybe you need a little extra inspiration to light that fire in your soul and get you moving in the right direction. It's honestly something I wish I would have had when I started my very first journey as an author, trying to wind my way through all those pitfalls on my own. So I hope that you'll join me and put your whole heart and soul into this. I promise you'll get a lot out of it if you're honest with yourself, if you put in the work that it takes to get there, and we'll have a lot of fun along the way as well. So grab a comfy chair, grab your favorite cup of hot liquid motivation, and let's get ready to be inspired to write. All right. Now, this workshop is for literally anybody with creativity trapped inside who wants to learn how to write their story without fear, without doubt, without having a panic attack in the process. If you're already an author, thinking back to when you wrote your first novel, I hear you snickering in the background because I too recall those first days with so much excitement, but also some complete terror, honestly. I had no idea what I was doing when I first started. So, whether you're a novice working on your very first manuscript, or whether you're a seasoned author and have multiple novels under your belt like me, we are all still human, aren't we? We all feel fear, doubt. That panic sets in just as we're about to begin. And we start second guessing everything we thought we were so sure of just moments earlier. Our self confidence plummets the second we give in to fear. If we allow these negative thought patterns to continue, it can lead to an outright panic attack before we even begin. So, how do I know this? Because I too have been in your shoes and I've struggled through some pretty scary moments before I made it through to the other side. Now, my journey wasn't easy either. And there were certainly pitfalls along the way that could have stopped me dead in my tracks. And several times they almost did. But here's the thing, I didn't have anyone to take my hand and guide me to the other side of all of my fears. I was alone in my journey and I had to navigate some pretty discouraging moments and disappointments along the way. But your journey is different from mine because there's one very important difference. You are not alone. I will walk you through every step that you need to get to the other side of those fears. And as an author, like I said, I've walked a mile or two in your shoes, so I know what to expect. I know what you're going to be going through in each of those steps. And I'm here to help you overcome your fears and to empower you with the tools to take every step necessary to overcome those obstacles and start your writing journey today without fear of having a panic attack in the process. All right, I'm going to share with you a few reasons why I feel like this class is meant just for you. This class is for you if you want to remove all obstacles standing in your way. Sometimes that's easier said than done, isn't it? I know for a fact that it's easier said than done. And saying we're going to do something or want to do something does not necessarily make it so. So by sharing a few of my own proven success strategies that I still implement every time I write, I can show you a way out of the darkness, a way beyond the doubts. So get ready to dig in and do some serious, I don't call it homework. On my podcast that I do, I call it soul work. So now it's time to remove those obstacles standing in your way, and it's time to face your fears. Now, if you want to learn to move beyond those self-destructive patterns of self-doubt that have held you back for far too long, then this workshop is the perfect place to begin to do that as well. Don't doubt yourself. You have what it takes to succeed already inside of you. The challenge is to help you to remember where you've kept those hidden treasures. The challenge is to unlock the doors to open your mind, and it's time for you to learn to believe in yourself again. I am so excited that you've joined this workshop for probably the most important benefit of this entire training. And I will teach you how to unpack the baggage of your past, move beyond that fear, those self-doubts to change. And in doing the work it takes to get to the other side, I'll teach you how to pivot your mindset to one of growth and change. All right, now this workshop is not for you if you don't like free content followed up by a surprise and an insanely valuable offer, or if you've already mastered everything there is to know about being an author and you have absolutely zero fear about the whole process, this class is not for you, because I probably will look like a novice and you will not be impressed. But if you have mastered all these things, we would love to know your secrets too. All right, so what is my story? My real name is Chris Sinclair. Many of you will know me by Chris. Some of you know me by Sadie. But in everything I do that revolves around my writing, I use my pen name, Sadie K. Frazier, which was created from my great-grandma's name, Sarah Elizabeth, and they used to call her Sadie. So I feel like I've got a little bit of past history in there too when I created my pen name. But I am a multi-genre freelance writer. I'm an inspirational novelist. I'm the co-owner of Inked Fairy Press, which is a publishing company that my husband and I own together. I'm also the creative marketing director of the Crafted Quill podcast, where my husband is the host of the Crafted Quill podcast. And I am now the host of my very own inspirational podcast, the Daily Escape podcast. I am a willful coffee addict. I am a wanderlust enthusiast. I am a hopeless romantic, a creative thinker, a powerful feeler, a passionate creator. And I excel as an author of 8 novels under my belt whose words change lives. My purpose is to spread light to this broken world. It only takes one person to bring about change, and I believe that that change can start with me. I am happily married to the love of my life for just over 22 years. Woohoo! That's a big accomplishment in and of itself. And my hubby is also an aspiring published author of 6, 7 titles in there somewhere. And it made it easier throughout the whole process that we both are authors, because we can understand the craziness that goes with all of that. We have 5 amazing adult children, which I still have a hard time saying all of our children are now adults. And we have 3 incredibly beautiful grandbabies that I hope will be inspired by what we are becoming. So as you read my words as an author, I want the reader to allow their selves and their minds to wander, to transport them to a place of magic across the expanse of the universe and beyond, to a place that knows no time, no boundaries, a haven where their souls may wander free, if they dare believe. All right, so other than what I just said, you might be asking, who are you? What's your purpose in creating this workshop? So I am the founder and owner of a business that I just recently opened in August of 2021, and I called that In Pursuit of Purpose. It's a business conceived from big dreams and the never-ending hope that I might one day change the world. I'm the host and creator of the Daily Escape podcast as well, and each episode of that is born from a vision to provide hope and healing to help you manifest your best life. I just have one important question for you. Do you have a story to tell? I believe that every story deserves to be told. The hard truths, the weakest moments, the brokenness manifested into healing. Every single word is worth speaking into existence. You never know who needs those very words to survive their own tragic nightmare and slay the demons they face. Be the light, be the truth, be the voice that saves them from themselves. So what is your story? What if you had one chance to tell the world exactly who you are? Tell me where you've been, who you've loved, how you've hurt, and what you've learned from it all. What makes you hurt? What makes your spirit bleed? What secrets do you keep? What makes you hope? What makes you dream? What sets your soul on fire? I'd love to know your story, the view of life from behind your eyes. No one can share their perspective quite like you. You're unique, you're beautiful, wildly imaginative in your own mind, and you have a gift to share to the world, don't you? The gift of you. So what are you waiting for? Tell me who you are. Look, I know the fears that have held you back and kept you from listening to that still small voice inside of you. I know it's there because I've heard it too. But my friend, if there's one thing I've learned, especially these last few months, it's that life is just too damn short. We've no more time to waste on fear, on doubt, on being afraid to live our lives out loud. So, the good news and what sets apart my journey from yours is that you don't have to face those fears alone. I will be with you through every single step of this journey moving forward. All right, so now that I've gotten you pumped up and ready to receive, let's get down to business. So, who knows who this man is? Anybody? That's right. He's only the most incredibly talented, terrifyingly horror-driven, best-selling author of our time. It's none other than Stephen King himself. One of Stephen King's most popular quotes is, "Fear can hold you prisoner and hope can set you free." Now, one would assume that by watching him on stage, he seems to hold all the confidence in the world on his shoulders, doesn't he? And with the shocking multitude of bestsellers under his belt, I have had doubts that he'd ever be able to relate to us as authors or even have the same fears that we might. But in all honesty, we couldn't be more wrong. Did you know that Stephen King wrote his novel Carrie while he was working as a high school teacher? But he initially threw away the pages, thinking that they were awful. He just threw up his hands and said, "I'm done. This is no good. It's crap. I'm going to throw it away." So, fortunately for horror fans, his wife dug that out of the trash can and she told him to keep writing. Tabitha King's insistence that her husband keep writing not only started his career and catapulted him to success, but it changed their lives monumentally. When I stopped to think about the fact that he almost threw all of that away, it really struck a chord in me because I know how close I've been to just saying, "Forget this, I can't do this." So, can you imagine how different the film industry would be if Stephen King himself would have let fear win? If he'd have given up because he thought he'd never write anything anybody would want to read? If his wife hadn't supported his dreams and insisted he not give up? See, it isn't that he wasn't plagued by fear and self-doubt, because he was. But his wife gave him that hope to release him from that fear. She helped him to believe that he was worth it, and she stopped at nothing to help him succeed. I would like to be your hope giver in this workshop, your success builder, your mindset motivator, because I believe you can do anything you put your mind to. And if you believe, then so can I. So, are you ready to do a little self-reflecting? It can often be terrifying yet cathartic at the same time, can it? But remember, I'm here to help you guide through that fear and make it a little less scary to move forward. So, have you ever looked yourself in the eyes and asked yourself, why am I here? Considered if your own fears were too powerful to overcome? Some days it certainly feels like they are, doesn't it? And it's okay to admit when you feel overwhelmed, when it all feels too much. The key is not to stay stuck in that headspace. The key is to admit the truth and learn to move beyond and redirect those thoughts to more grounded, centered, positive mindsets. So for many years, I asked myself the same questions you have over and over and over again. And it was a vicious cycle I was stuck in. And for a long time, I was unable to free myself from that grasp. But then one day, not really so very long ago, a string of seemingly coincidental events came into play, and suddenly I found myself with my heart torn in two, and my eyes were wide open to two different choices that lay before me. The first choice that lay before me, I could keep running from fear. I could simply remain a victim of the past, and I could remain rooted in that past that I had yet to heal from. weighed down by pain, by trauma, a victim of hopelessness, self-doubt, and fear. Sometimes it feels easier to stay stuck there, doesn't it? It feels familiar, so within its grip, its chokehold over our freedom, we begrudgingly remain, day after day after day. So what I realized is that no one else could make that choice for me. It was mine and mine alone. So like I said, I could stay where I had always been, stuck in a past I no longer belonged. Or I could become a victor over my future. I could untether myself from all those wounds and learn how to heal my scars by exposing my pain to become the victor of my future, over my fears, self-doubts, everything, once and for all, by rediscovering my purpose and learning to manifest my very best life. And do you know why? Because I am enough, and so are you. I have a very serious question for all of you now. Do you know that you too have a choice to make right now? Sure, you can keep running from fear as well and stay stuck in the past if that's all you want from your life. And that's okay if that's all you want. But if you hear that still small voice whispering your name, calling you to act on changing your life, then you are in the right place, my friend. You can choose to say no more to those patterns of behavior that keep you rooted in the past and become your own success story as you accept that you too are enough. So do me a favor. Come back to me right now if you're multitasking. Stop what you're doing right now and repeat after me. I am enough. Let's say it one more time. I am enough. Now I want you to repeat that just as many times as you need to until you begin to believe those words again. Now, in following other authors and influencers and motivational speakers who were also authors, I realized that there were little tidbits and pieces of the puzzle that I still felt like I was lacking when I took their courses. So through an eye-opening reflection of my own journey of learning to face my fears and master my mindset, I created my proven Power of Four method to help you through yours. So how did the Power of Four method come to be? The Power of Four method is a solution I created when, as an aspiring author, I stumbled into and eventually worked my way through some pretty deep pitfalls in order to unleash my Power of Four method. Now, this method allowed me to ditch the living in a constant state of fear approach for good, so I could expose my pain to become the victor over my fears and self-doubt and rediscover my purpose. In the process, I learned to manifest my very best life. So what do you want to do? Do you want to ditch the living in a constant state of fear approach too? You can ditch that limiting belief of fear and self-doubt for the quest to find your purpose, your story, your passion, your values and talents instead. So what do you say? Do you want a type of freedom in your writing journey that you've never experienced before? Let me hear you say it out loud. Yes, I do. Yes, yes, I do. I trust that you've made the right decision. You've made a very good choice. And I believe you have what it takes to succeed, and so do I. So stay with me as I teach you how to unleash the magical Power of Four method by using music, meditation, motivation, and mastering your mindset to manifest the masterpiece within you. Let's do this. All right, I'm so excited because now we get to the good stuff. So first, let's outline some problems that we face that keep us from creating the masterpiece in the first place. One of the biggest challenges I faced is that my whole world was surrounded in chaos. I never had a minute to think for myself. I felt overwhelmed and out of sorts, and then when I'd get a second free, I'd sit down to write. And sadly, my mind would begin to wander to all the other things that I needed to do or all the chaos that surrounded me, and sometimes the words just wouldn't come. It took me a long time to realize that it was my own chaos and noise that I hadn't released that was holding me back. So problem number one on my list was that a cluttered mind left no room for creativity to flow free. So let's talk about you. Have you faced the same problem? Maybe the chaos in your day is just too much. Perhaps the noise is too loud to allow you to think. Or is the workspace surrounding you so cluttered that you can't even find a pen to write with? If so, I'm here to help you through that too. Okay, so just look at this picture and let's be honest. Does your workspace look similar to this in any way, shape, or form? Could you create a masterpiece surrounded by this mess? If any of those questions hit home for you, then it's time to take a step back and begin to declutter your life. Now, according to research at Princeton University's Neuroscience Institute, our brains already have a limited ability to process information. I think we've all heard before that our brain processes literally like 10% of what we're capable of. So anything that pulls your senses away from what you're meant to be focusing on is a distraction, and it limits your ability to focus 100% of your time and attention on the task at hand. So if you think about it, a chaotic, messy, disorganized work environment pulls your attention in all kinds of different directions and away from your writing. Okay, so I think we can all agree that we could never write our best in that kind of disorganized, chaotic environment, right? But there are a lot of ways that we can begin to declutter not only our workspace, but also our lives in general. If you haven't already followed my podcast, like I said, I'm the host of the Daily Escape podcast with Sadie K. Frazier, and you can find me on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, basically wherever your favorite place to listen to podcasts is. But within the last few months, I've done an entire series on decluttering your mind, body, home, and soul to allow your spirit to be set free. So I just thought I'd mention that in case any of you want more detailed information or want to go back and listen to those. It will help in decluttering all aspects of your life. Okay, so we know that we need a fresh, clean workspace to write our best. But what if that clutter is inside our head instead? So you might start to question, with all these chaotic, busy thoughts, random thoughts filling my head, how will I ever find the space for imagination to flourish? Stay tuned and I'll show you how to declutter your mind to allow your creativity to flow free. And here's yet another problem that we as authors sometimes face. So problem number 2, I'm sitting in front of my computer screen, hands on my keyboard, and the words just won't come. Now what? Boy, I think we can all certainly relate to this one, even if you aren't an author, just in our normal everyday life. There are just some days when the words won't form. We have a hard time adulting in the real world, don't we? My husband, being in IT, of course, often says that his processing speed is running a little slow when he feels like that. But what's going on when this happens? Seconds earlier, we were geared up and we were ready to go, and now there's nothing happening. So, what exactly is it that happened? So, what you're experiencing, my friend, is called writer's block, and it happens to the very best of us, experienced or not. So, writer's block is one of those few things that nearly all writers share, no matter where they are in their careers. Esteemed authors from Ernest Hemingway, John Steinbeck, to Stephen King and Margaret Atwood have all lamented their woeful run-ins with this dreaded disease. And you may begin to question again, will I ever be able to write anything good ever again? Or if I'm just starting now and these bigwig bestsellers get bogged down by this, how will I ever make it? Believe me when I tell you, I've thought the same things hundreds of times throughout my writing career. But what I can promise you is that there is a way past this roadblock. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to use the tools I've discovered to kick writer's block to the curb and allow your creativity to flow free. All right, now I have a big surprise for you guys. And I have another one coming up later, so stay tuned. But for right now, this seems like the perfect time to take a little break and give away a freebie. So just for joining me today, I am giving away my exclusive writer's block cheat sheet. It includes 4 keys to defeat writer's block and spark inspiration. So if you're like me and you love getting free stuff you didn't even ask for, you're super excited right now. I have found this to be an invaluable tool in my own life in combating writer's block and in getting back on track when I've been stuck. So enjoy. All right, so let's get back to some work here. Let's talk about problem number 3. So you finally worked your way through that pesky writer's block and you write a chapter or 3. Way to go. But all of a sudden, these doubts start creeping in and you think, why am I even doing this? Or am I even good enough to do this? Whoa, wait a minute. Where did that come from? Now all of a sudden you're spiraling backwards, convinced you'll never be as good as others writing in that same genre, or maybe even at all. Can you imagine if we feel that way? Think about Stephen King and the fact that when he wrote Carrie, he threw that in the trash because he thought it was garbage. He thought it was worthless. So he had already had some experience under his belt and he still had those same fears. So what happened to him? What happened to us? I'll share that with you next. Now, what you're experiencing, my friend, is called imposter syndrome, and it's a very real thing indeed. I had never even heard of this before I started taking workshops myself, but it was a concept that I felt deep in my soul for sure. I just didn't know what it was called or that it was even a real thing. Now, Psychology Today reports people who struggle with imposter syndrome, they believe that they are undeserving of their achievements and the high esteem in which they are, in fact, generally held. They feel that they aren't as competent or intelligent as others may think, and that soon enough, people will discover the truth about them. And the authors that I mentioned earlier, that, like I said, Ernest Hemingway and some other writers like that, that have suffered from writer's block and all those other things, do you know that they still suffer from imposter syndrome as well? They feel like they're not as good as everybody else. Like they could have 10 million bestsellers under their belt and they still have that underlying fear like, but I'm not as good as Stephen King, but I'm not as good as Beverly Cleary. And that is a hard concept to face. You may begin to question, what will everyone think? Who will want to read anything that I write? Or what if I'm not as good as the others? Now, to that nonsense, I say enough. Stay tuned, and I'll show you how to believe in yourself again to defeat imposter syndrome and allow creativity to flow free. Our last problem number 4. It's that we tend to be too hard on ourselves. And sometimes it's so much more than anyone else ever could have been. Our minds can sometimes be self-destructive and irrational, and they often convince us to give up before we ever truly begin. You may begin to question if you'll ever be able to heal and move forward, if it's worth the work it takes to let go. You might question whether it would be just easier to stay stuck here than to feel this horrible pain in order to grow. And I can certainly understand that because sometimes I have been stuck in that same situation, unable to move forward because it's just easier to stay stuck where you are. What you're experiencing, my friend, is the effect of living in denial. There's anger raging inside your head from unhealed traumas, and the pain is still very raw. It's seeping untapped emotions you've kept buried for far too long. And it's difficult to allow creativity to flourish and your story to come to life until you are willing to let the past go and heal. But where do you even begin? Stay tuned, and I'll show you how to untether yourself from the past to heal and allow your creativity to flow free. Wow, that was a lot of heavy, thought-provoking stuff, wasn't it? And I may have your head spinning, your creative wheels burning, your internal gut turning. And you may have a few questions lingering, and I bet I can guess what a few of those are. So, what makes this course so different from the rest? What answers could you possibly give me that I haven't already tried? So, why is it that you haven't been able to master those obstacles before on your own? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Are you ready? Maybe, just maybe, you haven't found a big enough why to fuel that change yet. Show of hands. Who believes you can write your story right this very second without having a panic attack? Just sit and think about it for just a second. My guess is that a lot of you have still answered, no, I'm not quite ready yet. And that's okay. But do you want to unlock the tools you need to write your story without having a panic attack? Would you like to discover your why with my proven Power of 4 method now? I think now I'll be seeing a lot and hearing a lot more yeses, won't I? All right, so remember in the beginning I said it's going to take us some getting down to the nitty-gritty and being brutally honest with ourselves. Now is one of those times. So I'm telling you, when I first started out on this writing journey, I don't know if I could have answered a solid yes to that question either. Like I said, that's perfectly okay to be right where you are in this very moment in time. You don't know any different. But remember the choice I asked you to make earlier? Do you want to stay stuck in the past and running from fear? Or do you want to become a victor over your future and rewrite the story of your life? Well, I'm ready to show you how with my Power of Four method now. So the choice is yours. Do you want to move forward with me? I hope you'll join me next. Okay, so my Power of Four method is the only formula you need to become the victor over your fears and self-doubt. These four superpowers will give you the keys to unlock your future and rediscover your purpose while learning to manifest your best life. So those four superpowers are meditation, music, motivation, and mastering your mindset. Join me in discovering what these tools can do to change the writing game for you. And we're on to superpower number one, the power of meditation. So how many of you practice meditation on a daily basis? Or how many of you think it's malarkey and have been taught that it's some sort of strange woohoo magic that you don't want any part of? I'm here to help you unlearn some of those previous ways of thinking about meditation and how beneficial it can be to your future writing career. All right, so what is meditation exactly? It has many definitions, but meditation is essentially being in a flow state. So in an article I researched by Heather Robson, she stated that you've likely experienced a flow state when you've been completely lost in any activity like writing, running, or even watching a beautiful sunset. If you're writing, the words and ideas flow effortlessly. Your focus is intently on that writing and you lose all sense of time. Some people call this being in the zone. Now, a flow state tends to be a very random, spontaneous experience. It's nearly impossible to force yourself into that flow, and you're usually not even aware you're in it until you come out of it. But research has revealed that the more you meditate, the more likely you are to experience that flow state in your daily life, including in your writing. If we don't first learn to declutter our minds, we will never be totally free to write it with a truly open mind, will we? So meditation is an excellent way to clear your negative headspace and free your mind. So what happens without meditation? And before we free our minds from all of that chaos filling our brains? It keeps us bogged down, doesn't it? Weighted, heavy. We will never find the perfect balance between zigzagging through the mental clutter of life and allowing our minds to clear and flow freely to experience the completely unharnessed power of creativity without it. Okay, now, just imagine that these heavy, massive stones in this picture are the stumbling blocks, the pitfalls standing in your way. Each one weighs your mind down and prevents you from writing using your truest inspired potential. Can you see that with all the extra baggage you're carrying around, it might keep you shackled and caged within a self-limiting box that you've designed for yourself, intentionally or unintentionally? It makes no difference, really. It's what you choose to do to free yourself now that truly matters. So what's weighing you down? Is it the noise, the chaos of life? Is it fear, your own self-doubt, worry that you're not as good as others? Or is it all of the above? Maybe your mind is filled with a negative headspace so cluttered you don't even know how to break free of it. For me, when I first started writing, I would have said all of the above as well. I was so afraid I would fail, that people would laugh at my dreams, that no one would take me seriously, that I'd never be as good as those who'd gone before me. But then I learned about the power of meditation and how to use its benefits to my advantage before I ever opened my computer and began to write. As I said, the first powerful tool in my quartet of superpowers to prevent you from having an all-out panic attack while writing your first novel is the power of meditation. Now, I know for most of you, you just want to get to the good stuff. You don't want to talk about all this whatever. You want to just skip over all this woohoo frilly stuff about your mind, and you'd rather get to the heart of what it takes to be an author. But I truly believe that in decluttering your mind by the use of my Power of Four method, you experience complete freedom from self. It's the feeling of weightlessness The feeling of untethering yourself from the chaos and living beyond the potential you see from your currently self-limiting perspective. So now let's talk more about the specifics of the power of meditation. You've likely heard that meditation has many physical and psychological health benefits. I know because I've experienced them for myself. But did you know that meditation can be especially beneficial for writers? Meditation has been practiced for thousands and thousands of years throughout the world. Modern research is just now beginning to uncover how meditation affects the brain and why it's so powerful. So let's delve a bit more into the benefits of meditation and how it can help you as a writer. So the first one would be to help you overcome writer's block, to help reduce stress and anxiety. It can lengthen your attention span, which comes in handy when you're trying to write a novel and you're all over the place and trying to remember whose characters there are and how they're supposed to meet up later on down the road. It boosts motivation. It declutters the mind, as I talked about before. And it helps you regain a more positive, focused perspective, which certainly helps when you're trying to write your novel. All right, so here are some helpful tips to get you started on your path to meditation. You can take things as simple or as in-depth as you want. For instance, you begin by simply taking a walk in nature and clearing your mind. That's a great place to start. Or you can take a shower or a bath and let the stress just fall away and cleanse your thoughts as it does. Now, my husband and I have found that there is a connection to our writing and our authorship with water, and it's the strangest thing. I have been sitting in my office and trying to write, and I get this horrible writer's block. I could even be typing away, and then all of a sudden, everything's just gone. And maybe I'm sitting in my office in the wintertime and it's cold, and I think, all right, I'm just going to get up, walk away, take a little bit of a break, and maybe go take a bath or take a shower. And suddenly, all these thoughts start forming. And then before I know it, I'm refocused and I'm ready to go again. Or maybe we weren't even planning on writing, but we've been out doing yard work all day and we come in and we take a shower, kind of clean up a little bit. The next thing I know, all these ideas and characters and plots are forming in my head. And there's just this special connection to water with me, and that's where my inspiration kind of comes from sometimes, unexpectedly at most. You can cook, you can garden, you can talk to a friend. Whatever meditation and freeing your mind looks like to you, just do more and more and more of that. Or you can use meditation in the traditional sense, like I do, by setting an intention, by setting the mood of the room with candles, low lights, binaural meditation music. You can do this meditation music guided or not, but you just let your thoughts fall into a gentle cadence of gratitude and thankfulness to the universe. So, one mantra that I always speak now before writing or podcasting or any creative endeavor really is this: thank you, universe, for speaking through me, for allowing me to become a vessel of hope, of love, of inspiration, and instruction to those who need it most. I step out of the way and I let you guide my way. So you can change that up however you want. Thank you, universe, for writing through me. Thank you, universe, for creating through me. It's amazing what we can do and the power we hold within when we silence our minds and we step out of the way and let the universe be our guide. These simple tools I'm sharing with you today are what led me to create In Pursuit of Purpose, this course, and brought us together right here, right now. So now we're on to superpower number 2, the power of music. How many of you play an instrument or write music or love to sing or dance or perform? If you do, think back to how it feels when you hold that instrument in your hands, or how it feels when you caress the keys with your fingers, if you're a pianist like me. Think about how certain songs make you feel, the emotions attached to your favorite ones. How do you feel when nobody else is in your car and that one certain song comes on and you just belt it out as loud as you can as if you don't have a care in the world? I can still remember the way my tap shoes sounded against the old hardwood floors in Donna Wood's dance studio when I was just a little girl, or the excitement yet nervousness I felt when I joined my dance team and we performed in front of a whole crowd of people side by side. And then I can still remember when I did my first piano recital, we had practiced and practiced and practiced. And I probably was only maybe like 7 or 8 years old in grade school. And I just wasn't prepared when I got there. I'd always played on like an old-fashioned Wurlitzer church piano. And I walk into this room, and I remember the first thing I saw on the stage, in the middle of the stage, was this huge baby grand piano. Now, I had never played on one before, so that in and of itself was intimidating enough. And then I turned to look at the audience, and I realized that there's like 1,000 people sitting in the audience. I was not prepared for that whatsoever. But I still remember, not so much when I was playing at first, but just getting lost in the music and then completely forgetting that there was, close to 1,000 people behind me, and just letting my spirit soar and feel that music inside of me. So there's something magical about music that takes us to another place, another time altogether, isn't there? So let's talk now about how the power of music affects us as authors. All right, so now that we've cleared our minds, we need to replace this cleansed space with something substantial to inspire us. If we don't, this leaves room for the same self-destructive patterns of fear and doubt to return. So let's turn old habits into new ones and replace them with a little bit of goodness. All right, so for me, one of the single most important, influential, and inspirational tools that I have found throughout my course of my writing career is my personal connection with the power of music. How many of you use music as a coping tool in your own life? I honestly don't know where I'd be without it today. So I'm going to start by discussing first the benefits of music therapy, and then we'll talk about how it specifically benefits you as a writer. Now, Psychology Today reports that some of the benefits of music therapy are lowering of stress and anxiety. It helps with processing trauma. It improves communication with kids on the autism spectrum and other linguistic disorders. It increases self-expression, increases emotional awareness. It lowers the pain threshold, also combating thoughts of depression and hopelessness that lead to suicide. I think that's very profound that it affects people that way, and it truly is beneficial in my own life and in my life as a writer. As a writer, music increases creativity, focus. It sets the mood, especially when you're writing fiction and fantasy. Music combats boredom, writer's block. It improves cognitive function and memory, and who could not use a boost in that? The Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley studied the extensive psychological benefits of music. Neuroscientists have confirmed the link between music and motivation. They also discovered that listening to music heightens positive emotion by stimulating dopamine receptors. Music is proven to significantly decrease anxiety and establish a calming effect. So listening to tunes can help if the pressure of writing a novel is getting to you. Now, there's also evidence that music acts as a memory aid, but the jury is still out on that one. More fascinating still is that listening to music causes almost every brain center to light up, suggesting that there's even more benefits than what we've discovered yet. How cool is that? So far, we've learned that meditation can help clear our minds of the chaos and allow us the space to be creative. We've also learned that once it's cleared, we need to fill that newly cleansed headspace with positive reinforcement, aka music, to rid ourselves of old habits and allow creativity to begin to flow through us once again. And we're on to superpower number 3, the power of motivation. So stop what you're doing right now and think about where you are right this very second in your life. Do you feel motivated, inspired to write, to be, to do? It's hard sometimes when all around us seems chaotic and dark. This world is anything but filled with light right now, isn't it? It's hard to remain optimistic, motivated, and inspired to do anything at all. But motivation is a key element in writing your story, and I'll show you how to believe, achieve, and succeed by using its power now. All right, so now let's talk about the benefits of the power of motivation. With the combined powers of meditation and music, we can begin to unlock the tools necessary to write our novel. But without the power of motivation backing these, we will quickly revert back into falling prey to useless habits and self-destructive behaviors. Motivation is an especially effective tool to help you believe in yourself again. Motivation is an especially effective tool to help you believe in yourself again and combat that pesky pitfall, imposter syndrome, that we talked about earlier. But what are some other benefits to becoming motivated again? Let's explore these now. Okay, so what are the benefits of adding this third key in my Power of Four method, the power of motivation, to our author's arsenal of amazing abilities? Well, the first one is, as a writer, if you're motivated to succeed, you will experience greater enjoyment throughout the entirety of the writing process, not just when it's getting to the end result or publishing your book. You will experience more confidence and motivation to keep your eye on the prize, and you will experience a greater chance of success. You will feel more in control of your future. You will face challenges and obstacles, but you will feel an increased confidence that you can and will overcome them. And ultimately, and most importantly, you will kick imposter syndrome and the belief that you aren't as good as others, and you will learn to believe in yourself again. Now, that is the truest key of success I can imagine. All right, so I thought I was going to be super helpful and give you some ways to motivate yourself, and I hit an afternoon slump and my brain went blank. And then I remembered that my number one motivator is sometimes something as simple as coffee. So I grabbed myself a nice big cup of my favorite Java to give me the boost I need to keep going. And if you guys need to take a break, just press pause and go get yourself some coffee. So what are some other motivational tools that you can use to engage your brain and initiate creativity? We know about music and meditation, as we've already discussed. But how about our friends, our pets, our spouse, our kids, a walk in nature, travel? I looked up even more motivators on a website called popsugar.com, and I found 52 ways to motivate yourself. That is called being an overachiever. Anyway, I digress. Here are some more inspiring ideas to increase your motivation. How about making a to-do list to inspire you to do more? I've heard it said that you can make a to-do list instead of a to-do list, and then it doesn't seem so daunting. You can use food to fuel that motivation as well. Focus more on the positive and less on the negative. It does a mind and a body good. You can motivate someone else that's walking in your same shoes. You can commiserate, uplift, and motivate each other. Plus, you can hold each other accountable to meet your goals. I would encourage you to listen to podcasts. Not only do I do my own podcast, but I listen to a lot of others that are influencers and motivators and positive speakers, just to uplift myself and give me some goodness in my soul. I would encourage you to take courses. Whatever it is, just learn how to do better, how to be better. And never stop believing until you've reached every one of your goals and lived every single one of your dreams out loud. So far, I've given you 3 tools to empower you now on your path to writing your first novel. It's your choice how to decide to utilize each of them to help you grow. But you need to know that the only thing that's holding you back is you. The sky and beyond is truly the limit. You are the master of the seeds that you plant right now. Now, are you beginning to see that what we've been building together is an essential roadmap that has led us straight into our 4th and final superpower? In the next module, I'm going to teach you how to learn how to pull it all together as we learn to master our mindset. All right, so we are finally on to our 4th and final superpower, which is super, super important. This power is the power of mastering your mindset. And it's probably one of the most difficult challenges that you'll face overall. But I'm here to tell you that it can be done. Now, it's not something that can simply happen overnight, or you can just wish it to happen without putting in the work. It is something that I struggle with every day of my life, and no matter if I'm in author mode or in everyday aspects of my everyday life, I still struggle with it even to this day. So where in the world, you might ask, do we even begin? So far, I've empowered you with 3 keys to unlocking your success as a writer. We've talked about the power of meditation, the power of music, the power of motivation. But there is one essential superpower still missing in your arsenal of tools to keep you from panicking before you ever get started. That's right, it's mastering your mindset. Now, how in the world do we do that? Some of you might even ask, is mastering your mindset truly even possible with all of the conflict and chaos and constant construction our mind seems to be under? Just trying to survive each day, let alone attempting to conquer it. In my opinion, when armed with these 4 superpowers, I believe it is possible. But it's up to you to put in the work to get there. So let's first talk about the benefits of mastering your mindset. Remember, I said from my first introduction that this course was for you if you want to remove all obstacles, face your fears, move beyond the self-destructive patterns of self-doubt, and learn to believe in yourself again. If you wanted to pivot your mindset to one of growth and change. But here are some added benefits of mastering your mindset. It allows you to remain in control of your thoughts, and instead of getting stuck in our old ways and spiraling out of control and feeding into delusional, distorted, and negative thought patterns, we are able to avoid tail spinning straight into anxiety, depression, and panic and choose to redirect our mindset, face our fears, and believe that we are good enough and we are going to complete what we started. We believe that we can do anything we set our minds to. Now, did you know that mastering your mindset also makes you more resilient? We all know this crazy world is one of chaos and inconsistency, and in many cases it seems to be completely unfair. But for those who have learned to still their minds, dominate their thoughts instead of letting their thoughts dominate them, it becomes less about reacting to the world around you and more about taking charge of one's own life. So, by mastering our mindset and learning to be still, by listening to our own internal intuition, we have the power to draw from a never ending stream of willpower that will see you through even the darkest of times. You will become resilient in the face of adversity. And from the very beginning, I've said that it's time for a positive mind shift, right? Well, my friend, if you've followed me through this entire workshop, you'll know that there has never been a better time to make that mindset shift right now. So let's pull this together with tools to empower you to master your mindset. You can meditate and clear your mind. You can get lost in the music and let its rhythm inspire you to be more creative. You can fill your mind with tools that motivate and uplift you. You can change negative thought patterns into positive affirmations and intentions. Through mastering your mindset, you will achieve new results, such as believing in yourself, knowing that you are good enough at whatever you set your mind to, and becoming resilient in the face of darkness and overcoming all obstacles that dare to stand in your way. Okay, so if you take one thing away from this workshop, I want you to have learned that you can do this. You can make the changes necessary to overcome self-doubt and fear. And you can start right here, right now, by accepting the challenge to change your life today. And do you know why? Because you have empowered yourself with my proven Power of Four method. And you have what it takes to write your first or 20th novel without having a panic attack. I haven't done it. You have. I've simply given you the tools to open your mind to begin to believe it's possible. So what you do with it from here, it's all up to you. And like I said before, the sky's the limit. But just know that I believe in you in what you can do if you set yourself free from the past and answer the call to write your story today. The big question now is, how can you apply this framework, the Power of Four method, to your own life, and in the process, bring the story inside your heart to life? So remember, back to the beginning earlier, I said that you are the pilot of your own destiny. And now you have the superpowers that I've taught you to back you on your journey to wherever you choose to go. You still have a choice to make, though. You can remain stuck in the past and keep running from your fears despite the arsenal of tools I've given you to combat this self-destructive pattern. Or you can finally accept that you're enough and believe that you have everything inside of you to set your soul on fire and live every one of your freaking dreams out loud. You can stand up today and say, I am not letting fear hold me back any longer. I know that I am enough. And I know that I now have the keys I need to unlock my own success story. I'm ready to start writing my story today. So now, my friend, is the time to move. This is your call to action, and there's no better time than right now. Don't wait for your one day. Make this right here, right now. Make this your day one. It's time for you to let your fears go. Stand up today and say, I am not letting fear hold me back any longer. It is time for you to stop letting self-limiting beliefs hold you back and control your life. Repeat this affirmation after me. It is the most important thing that I can have you repeat. I know that I am enough. Say it one more time. I know that I am enough. Because you are. You truly, truly are. And it is time for you to unlock your own success story with the keys you've earned through mastering the power of 4 method. Now close your eyes with me for a minute and just imagine yourself standing in the middle of the forest. You hear water trickling from a waterfall that's rolling into a stream close by. See yourself standing on one side of that stream with several stones leading you safely across the stream. I want you to take that next step forward on your journey by setting an intention that leads you to the other side. Now repeat after me. I intend to use the power of 4 method to release me from a past that weighed me down with self-doubt, fear, and the inability to move forward because I was stuck in the past. I intend to utilize each and every tool given to me in this workshop because it's time to change my life. I am ready to start writing the story of my life today. Congratulations, you did it. And I could not be more proud of each and every one of you. Now give yourselves a virtual high five. You deserve it. Whoa, now wait a minute. I'm not through with you just yet. Remember I said earlier that I had a big surprise for you? Well, it's time to reveal that secret that I've been keeping now. And this is probably the number one thing I have been most excited to share with you. In fact, I haven't been this excited about anything in a very long time. Drum roll, please. Enrollment is now open for my full-length personal story developing masterclass, Bring the Story Inside Your Heart to Life, coming January 14th, 2022. That's right. For a limited time only, I'm offering you, my workshop VIPs, an exclusive opportunity to change your life and take the next step in writing your novel. Enrollment is now open for my personal story developing masterclass called Bring the Story Inside Your Heart to Life, where I use tools I've given you in this workshop, take you by the hand, and teach you step by step every aspect I've learned on my journey about how to bring the story inside your heart to life and begin writing your story today. Now, I want to share with you and give you a bird's eye view of what you will get immediate access to. So hold on to your hats. Here we go. Now, the 3 essential ingredients that you'll get access to inside my Bring the Story Inside Your Heart to Life masterclass are my proven Power of 4 method that I will go way more in depth on and teach you how to use each of those tools individually for your writing experience. I will give you one-on-one coaching sessions with yours truly. And my fast action bonus is a 30-day writing challenge to motivate you and spark inspiration to write your novel. So you'll remember that my Power of 4 method gives you the keys to unlock the secret of mastering your mindset. It teaches you step by step how to write your first novel without having a panic attack. And I'll even go into more detail about each of these steps in my full-length course. The second valuable tool you get access to inside this masterclass is one-on-one coaching with yours truly. Now, I promise to give you the support you deserve. You will get exclusive access to a Facebook community of like-minded writers like you, a free one-on-one coaching session with me, a guided group coaching throughout the entire course, and you will get access to additional bonus materials with VIP access. You'll also get the first chance to sign up for any additional editing services and additional courses that I offer. And remember, you'll also get access to a third incredible bonus inside my Bring the Story Inside Your Heart to Life. It's the Fast Action Bonus, a 30-day writing challenge that I followed on my own journey. Now, I've already given you VIP access to my personal writer's block cheat sheet where I share exclusive content and teach you 4 key elements to defeat writer's block and spark inspiration. But as a fast action bonus, you'll get instant access to my 30-day writer's challenge. You'll get exclusive content with my 30-day writer challenge to spark inspiration and prompt you to achieve success. All right, so I've announced that the doors are officially open and waiting for you to step inside. Just one step forward closer to changing your entire life today. Inside my Bring the Story Inside Your Heart to Life Masterclass, I'll be covering the following modules. I wanted to give you a little sneak peek of what's inside. So first, I share my personal story and allow you to glimpse a sneak peek of my journey of becoming an author. Next, we dive into Module 1, called Facing Your Fears, and determining what obstacles are still standing in your way and how to overcome them to get to the other side of fear. We'll do a fear-based exercise called Facing Your Demons to illuminate those fears lurking in your closet and keeping you from living your best life as an author. Then we go more in depth in Module 2 about mastering your mindset and how to overcome writing challenges you'll face as a new writer. We talk about fixed versus growth mindset and put into practice some Power of 4 method exercises to move us in the right direction. Then we get to the good stuff in Module 3, which is the conception of your story, where we explore topics to write about. We explore the why behind our passion to write, the technology you'll need, creative writing exercises to stimulate your brain and explore starting your outline, your title page, and writing the first chapter for me to review. This is where that one-on-one coaching comes into play. So then in Module 4, we'll have a sticky note party, which is one of my favorite things to do. It's a brainstorming party. And we'll light a story fire that continues to burn until it sets your entire story on fire. In Module 5, we'll pull it all together and I'll share with you my final secrets and keys to unlocking a future greater than you ever thought possible, bigger than you ever thought imaginable, and wilder than your dreams could ever conceive. It's entitled simply, Now It's Time for You to Change the World. So tell me, are you ready for the power today? If so, click to enroll right now. Don't wait for tomorrow, next week, or someday. Do it right now and join me on this brand new adventure, will you? I believe you've got what it takes, and so do I. All right, so here's the not so fun part. At least it's not for me. I would rather talk to you and share everything than talk about billing. But all this billing mumbo jumbo we have to navigate to make all of this happen is worth our while in the end. But I promise I've tried to make it as easy as possible for you, and that with one click of a button, you can hold the keys to your future in your hands. So here's the deets, peeps. You can pay in full today for the discounted price of $397 just for joining me today. You can use PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay. Heck, you could even send me cash, but you shouldn't probably do that because it'll get lost in the mail. But seriously, here are the links below that you'll need to click that join button and change your life today. Like I said, you can find me on PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay. If you have another way that you'd rather go about doing that that's easier for you, just contact me. My email is skfrazier333 at gmail.com. And go ahead and just shoot me an email and let me know what other issues that you're having, and we'll make sure that we get you taken care of. All right, so let's recap the modules and the bonus material and the homework and the free one-on-one coaching opportunities that I will be sharing with you. Module 1, Facing Your Fears. Module 2, Mastering Your Mindset. Module 3 is conception of a story. Module 4, light your story on fire. And Module 5, now it's time to change the world. Your bonus material and homework, the Facing Your Demons exercise, neurolinguistic programming visual exercises, sticky note parties, brainstorming parties, free one-on-one coaching. And that will be for me helping you write your title page, writing your outline, choosing your topic, and getting you started. And you can feel free to reach out to me anytime you want throughout the course. Like I said, we'll have a support group also with the Facebook group that I'm creating. So I hope that you will jump in with both feet and join me today. So, what are you waiting for? Are you ready to write the story of your life? If so, click to enroll now and let's do this. Here's some more of those boring payment details, but they need to be shared. So here's my PayPal. It's paypal.com/PayPalMe/In Pursuit of Purpose. And then you can Venmo me, venmo.com/you, Chris-Sinclair-2. And just remember what I said at the beginning. Chris Sinclair is actually my legal name, and Sadie K. Frazier is my pen name. So we had to use both of them when it comes to payment details. Okay, so I have one final question for you guys. I know that $397 when Christmas is coming up and there's all kinds of other things going on is a little bit expensive for a lot of you. But if you break down everything that I talked about today, add it on to what the value of that workshop will bring you in your writing career, I want to ask you a question. If all that workshop did was inspire you to be more creative, would the money be worth it? If all it did was allow you to change those negative thought patterns into a more positive mindset, would the money be worth it? And if it gives you the necessary tools to put pen to paper and begin the very first chapter of the rest of your life in writing that story that you've kept hidden inside of you for so long, would the money be worth it? I want each of you to think and feel before you make this decision. I understand that it's expecting a lot and that it's a lot of money, but I've literally put hours and months and weeks and nearly a year into building this project so that I can share my heart and soul with you, and I can show you a way that you've never experienced before in order to start that story. So I want you to answer this. Would it be worth it? Now, I also wanted to let you know that this course comes with a 100% money back guarantee, but there is a caveat. You have to prove that you've put in the work and that you're not happy with the results that you've achieved. So if you put your whole heart into completing this entire course, you do all the work, submit proof of completion, and you don't see results within 30 days, then I will happily discuss a refund for any money that you've paid. All right, so this is the final countdown. You will lose access when the timer ends to this very special one-time VIP discount of $397 for my Bring the Story Inside Your Heart to Life Masterclass. I cannot believe that this is over with already. I've waited so long for just this workshop, but I'm so excited to have you guys join me in January as well. So don't miss out. You still have time, but that time is slipping away. Now, like I said earlier, just know that whatever decision you make right now, make sure it's the right one for you. Don't let me pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do at all. I'm simply wanting to share my heart, my story with you, and to teach you to do the same thing for others. But if you're still unsure, then let it rest a day or two. I'll be following up in a few days with some second chance offers, not at this discounted rate, but it will still be an amazing value for the material that you receive. And I believe that that story you've been hiding away, kept locked away for far too long, is begging to be told. And I believe that that story is a gift, and so are you, my friend. I challenge you to close your eyes for a moment and let that decision just settle in your spirit. If you feel that this time is right for you, that you desperately need to tell your story, to write your story, and you're not going to let anything stop you now, then by all means, click away and join me today. And hurry, because there's not much time left. Words simply cannot express how grateful I am that you guys have joined me today. I have just been so excited to share this journey of helping you to master your mindset. Now you're well on your way to creating your own life story from the ground up and bringing that perfectly imperfect version of your story to life. Thank you for joining me for this free workshop. I hope I've inspired you to do more, to want to become more, and to shout it from the rooftops. I can do this. Yes, I can. So I wish you all the very best of love and luck and light. Until next time, I am unconditionally yours. All my love, Sadie. I cannot wait for you to join me on January 14th, 2022 for this very personal story developing masterclass. Bring the story inside your heart to life with yours truly, Sadie K. Frazier. I hope to see you all there. Have a great day.